The cycle of most relationships is that everything starts off strong and then fizzles out to a comfort level. And that's how life is usually. Children, like the first things of life, the babies, animals, all of them start off with a lot of energy. And as they get older, they slowly slow down, right? Usually artists and musicians have their best albums and best music in the beginning. Usually people are most athletic in the beginning until it starts to fizzle out. And that's how life is. So today we're going to be talking about why this happens and how we can prevent it, okay? Why is it that when you meet someone, they show a lot of effort in the beginning, right? But then over time, the effort goes away to the point where they stop trying to impress you. They let themselves go. What they did to get you, they stop doing. And there's a lot of reasons why that is. And this is something that if we all could understand this, we can, one, help mitigate this natural progression, natural downfall, because it's very natural, right? Most relationships start off really with a lot of intensity, with a lot of energy, with a lot of idealization. And as you get to know them, the more you look at them, the more the fog of emotions, which is enhancing all the positive traits and diminishing the negative traits, slowly start to fade away, and you get confronted with the person who you're actually dating, who you're actually seeing. Now, it's kind of similar to passions, right? Usually every passion, like drawing, painting, basketball, whatever passions you have, all start off with a lot of intensity and a lot of motivation. And the key is to embrace, just like with your passions, the key is to embrace the ups and downs, right? You sort of, you go with the ups and downs. You recognize that passions isn't a constant peak, but rather a landscape of varying altitudes that allows you to find value and fulfillment in the journey, right? So if you're with someone that, because this is where the partners that you pick comes into place, right? Because if you're with someone that doesn't want to work on the ups and downs of the relationship, naturally you're gonna, when conflict arises, it's gonna end the relationship. So that's why conflicts are so important, right? But let's not get to the ahead of ourselves. But every relationship experiences ups and downs, and it's always the honeymoon phase where you're getting to know each other, and your brain is tricking you into thinking this person is perfect to trick you into having kids with them, right? But generally speaking, everything has that starts high and everything diminishes. It just does, and usually the going down part reveals a lot about you guys, reveals about you, reveals about the person. It reveals whether or not you guys are compatible. Oh, it's easy to be together when everything's high. You wanna wish for the lows to come, because that's when the game begins, and not in a manipulative way, but that's when you actually get to know this person. That's when you actually get to show your strength, right? That's when you actually can see what kind of relationship you guys have. And some people get turned off, but the thing is that it doesn't have to be that way. You get what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be that way. So we're gonna be talking about how to prevent this from happening, how to slow it down, and why this tends to happen. Okay. Now look, this is what I believe, right? Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. For some, the pursuit of romance, driven by insecurities, using romantic gestures to seek validation or and affirm their desirability, as the relationship stabilizes, and there's, oh my god, Father Alex can't read, and their insecurities are assuaged by the commitment of their partner, the compulsion to use romance may wane, right? And so this is pretty much the foundation of this. It's insecurity. When you get in a relationship with someone, over time you start to express your love, and that consistent expression creates a sense of security. A lot of people have very low self-worth, and because of that, they're yearning to win someone over. A lot of people don't love themselves. A lot of people don't believe they're worthy of love. And so what you'll notice is that people's desire for romanticism, people's desire to impress you, is simply because deep down they may believe that they're not as cool or they're not as attractive. And so getting your validation confirms that in their mind. In other words, a lot of people feel insecure, and they can't talk themselves into feeling confident, into feeling worthy of love. And as a result, the human animal relies on other people's opinions. So they'll believe what you say about them more than they'll believe what they say about themselves. And so because of that, there's this constant need to get positive reactions from people, reactions that elicit happiness, reactions that indicates to us that we're worthy of love. And the thing about humans is that this need is insatiable, unless you develop a meditation practice or order my course, Emotional Mastery, where I talk about that. And so this constant need, never ending gap in the heart of human beings causes us to become addicted to people's validation. And so we yearn to feel attractive through another person's eye. We yearn for somebody to see us as the best person they've ever met, right? And so because of that, we're just addicted to that validation. And the less we feel like we're getting it, the more we're gonna work to get some of it. And if they didn't give us, and if they stopped validating us, right, what we'll do is that we'll start working harder to regain what we lost. So it's a game of attention, and it's a game of not giving them what they want all the time. But what I'm trying to communicate to you guys is that this is a very natural part of human beings, feeling insecure. And that insecurity causes us to connect with each other. And if we didn't have that insecurities, we'll be like Neanderthals, where we're so strong, we don't need people. And because we don't need each other, because we're so strong, we're not as intelligent. People who are really attractive and they get a lot of attention from the opposite sex, a lot of those people are not that romantic because they don't feel like it. Try to date somebody who who could get anyone. Try to date people like that. You'll notice that they don't try that hard. The only time they're gonna try hard is when they feel insecure. And everyone has an underlying feeling of insecurity. And what creates insecurity a lot of the times is whatever you cannot predict, right? Which we're gonna talk about that later in the video. But what comes with that is a lack of romance, right? Now, some people are naturally more romantic than others. Some people are givers, right, as a love language. But this happens to everyone. And what you have to understand, this takes effort. If you are consistently making your partners feel secure, and there's nothing wrong with making your partners feel secure. I mean that they can consistently predict you all the time, consistently. If you don't give them any moment throughout the year of inconsistency, meaning maybe in 2 months, you're consistent for 2 months, but maybe in the third month, you guys have a conflict, right? And you talking about the conflict, trying to fix the problem, creates awkward moments that create tension. And that tension sometimes makes people feel insecure. Maybe they're talking to me like this because they want to leave. Am I going to leave them? Are they losing interest? I never seen them be so serious, right? Because usually when you address things that you don't like, because that's everyone, right? When you address the things that you don't like, those conversations are uncomfortable, right? Or even when you try to live your life and improve on yourself, trying to improve on yourself and trying to be happy sometimes comes with you pushing the other person away a little bit. And because they love you so much, they can't see it's not personal. So it's almost like a lot of us go the opposite direction. When we love someone, we stop self-caring. We stop self-improving. We stop having those uncomfortable conversations because we like them. And so you create a safe net around them where they make no effort. It's like welfare. You create this freaking safety net that they stop putting effort. You convince them that the game is won, right? And that's the issue. Insecurity is very important. Insecurity is what leads people to want to impress you. Insecurity is what leads people to want to get your validation. Insecurity is what leads people to want to work for you. For example, if I know a lot of guys want you, that's going to make me feel insecure, especially if you tell me and you communicate in an indirect way that some people are seeing you, some people are interested in you. You don't have to be banging the whole football team, for example, right? But just the talk or even the mentioning of other Tyrones in the area makes me feel insecure, right? I'm like, well, where's that personal trainer? Where's the discount codes at, right? And so this is where a lot of people and a lot of cultures, our culture gets wrong, where we sort of go out of our way to not make our partners feel bad, or we are uncomfortable with calling people out on their bullshit. You got to realize people make mistakes. People make mistakes. You make mistakes. I make mistakes. That's wrong, right? And those mistakes is your partner's opportunity to show you their strength. And when you back down and you don't talk about it, you don't confront it, then you're losing the opportunity to show your partner your other side, to be unpredictable, right? And that goes on to our next point. Evolutionarily speaking, from an evolutionary standpoint, males historically competed for mates. This competition could manifest as display of affection and romantic gestures to attract and secure a partner. Once the relationship is established, their evolutionary drive shifts towards maintaining the relationship, which might not be necessarily involved continue romantic gesture at the same intensity, right? So that's the first thing, right? Is that you slowly start to get comfortable. And slowly, because you feel comfortable, because you're starting to get secure around them, people just stop trying to people stop making effort. And this is where we all have to understand human nature. The reason why this is happening is because there's a routine, there's consistency, and this consistency causes people to stop putting effort, right? When we're able to predict what's going to happen, actually, let me show you this slide because this is actually called habituation. Humans naturally tend to habituate to consistent stimuli over time, a process where the emotional or behavioral response to a repeated stimulus diminishes. In relationships, when actions, responses, and habits become highly predictable, partners may become desensitized to behavior that once elicited positive emotions or motivation for engagement. Right? So what you have to do to prevent this from happening is learn to reset expectations. This happens because of our consistency. When we like someone, when we feel genuine emotions for this person, our behaviors become more predictable. You know how somebody's going to behave when they're in love with you, right? You know what they're going to do. When you are uncertain about a person's response when you dating them, that's a red flag. It means they're hiding something from you. It means they're not really showing you who they truly are, right? So to fix this mistake, so to fix this problem, you have to learn to respond in ways that you usually don't, right? So it's usually best to start focusing on your flaws and the things that you don't do. Right? You got to find out, for example, maybe you don't speak up when this happens. Maybe you don't speak up when they're late. Maybe you always respond on time. Maybe you are too forgiving. Maybe you don't tell someone that something's bothering you, right? And you may not notice, but this becomes a habit. And you not speaking up is something that they can predict. You backing down is something that they can predict. All you have to focus on is look for your flaws. What are the things that you know you don't do that you have to do? And start deliberately practicing that. So it could mean that maybe this person does something disrespectful to you, and now this time you muster up the courage to call them out on it, right? And this automatically becomes unpredictable because they're like, okay, where did this come from, right? Or maybe you're too dependent on this person. And so you're focusing on fixing your flaws, and you become aware through analyzing yourself that you are too dependent on them. So you start to try to do other things, right? Especially, this is actually, being dependent on someone is not good. It's not bad. First of all, the problem is that when you over rely on this person, right? When you start losing your ability to rely on yourself because of them, there's nothing, in fact, it's actually good to depend on someone, but they have to be consistent, and they cannot be somebody who is unreliable. That's the only difference. But generally speaking, finding the things, your shortcomings as a person, and trying to work on it will automatically make you unpredictable because you are forced to develop new habits. You are forced to learn to respond in different ways. If you respond with aggression, learn to respond with kindness and softness. If you usually respond with kindness and softness to disrespect, learn to respond with more aggression, with more controlled rage, right? So if you usually back down, face up. If you usually face up, back down, right? We have to learn to use a long sword and short sword, which is learning how to use defense and offense, right? Learning how to speak and then not speak, right? The long sword speaking, the short sword not speaking. The long sword being present, the short sword being absent, right? The long sword should be the absent one. But what I am saying is that working on the opposite things that you need to work on will naturally instill in you unpredictability, because you're working on yourself and you're breaking habits. You get what I'm trying to say? So that's one thing. Now, the next thing that causes this, here it is right here. Boom. Societal expectations and conditioning. Men and women are often socialized and conditioned to view the pursuit of a partner as a challenge to be won. Society sometimes portrays romance and courtships as a game where the goal is to win the affection of a partner. After achieving this victory, the perceived need to be in the same level of the effort may diminish, not out of disinterest, but due to a lack of societal guidance on how to sustain a relationship, right? And so a lot of people like learn from others to stop trying. Like, it's just that simple, right? Once they win it, and the thing is that people actually, they do make an effort to win you over, but the problem is that you don't show them that the love is not conditional. It is not unconditional. You go out of your way to show people that what you are feeling for them is unconditional, that you're always gonna love them, even though it's not true. You're given that impression, wittingly or unwittingly. And so we gotta realize that the courting doesn't stop once they get the pom pom. Doesn't stop once you get them in a relationship. Doesn't stop once you get married with them. It should be continually. They should be winning you over. And this is how it's done. Learn to talk about difficult things. Learn to talk about things that are challenging in the relationship. That will naturally break rapport. It breaks the habit. Whatever routine you guys had, having tough and uncomfortable conversations, which is natural and which actually shows up a lot more than you guys think. Those conversations naturally makes you feel sometimes ashamed. It makes you not want to talk about it. It creates anxiety, creates fear. But what you're really doing is that you're bringing new emotions into this. You're making them feel different things. And what it will do is that it'll create a desire to reconciliate, to win you over again. Maybe you're not happy with the way they're behaving. And so you tell them that. And those are hard things, honestly. They really are like uncomfortable conversations. But usually the more difficult it is, the more it'll bring you guys closer. Because what you're going to notice is that after that conversation, there's a certain desire to connect with the person, right? So, you know, people do make a lot of mistakes in life, and we sort of don't let them know the mistakes they do because out of our fear of confrontation. And this is what I'm talking about, right? So if I'm telling you that if you want to learn to be more unpredictable to keep them interested, you don't have to be manipulative. You could just literally attack your weaknesses. So if you identify that your weakness is speaking up, and you have to have a tough conversation with this person, your self-help journey will lead you to speaking up, will lead you to them saying, whoa, when did this person grow a backbone, right? So that's what you have to do. Now, the next thing is this, right, is attachment styles. An individual's attachment style, shaped by early experiences with caregivers, plays a crucial role in how they approach relationships. Those with secure attachment styles may maintain consistent effort as their relationship progresses. In contrast, individuals with anxious or avoiding attachment styles might exhibit more significant fluctuations in their relationship and romantic efforts due to underlying fears of intimacy and abandonment. Now look, with these types of people, avoiding people, unfortunately, you should always, those people require more space than necessary. That's the issue, right? And it's hard to tell which one is what, honestly, right? It's hard to tell the people who are actually interested, fake interested versus people who are actually interested and have an attachment style. All right, so this is what half interested people do, right? Inconsistency. Their interests seem to fluctuate. They might be very engaging, enthusiastic at times, especially when it suits them, but otherwise they're disinterested. Self-focused behavior. Their actions often are self-serving. They engage with you more when they need something or when it's convenient for them, rather than showing genuine interest for your feelings and needs. Lack of effort. They don't make effort to understand you, support you, or even deepen the relationship. Plans are made on their terms, and they may cancel or forget about the commitments without much concern. Minimal investment. Communication and time spent together are minimal unless it benefits them. They might not initiate contact for a long period and show little interest in your life, right? So that means if your parent dies, they're not really gonna be there for you, right? If something drastic happens, they're not really gonna be there for you. Have interested people review themselves during crisis. People who are avoidant and like you, they pretty much show themselves in crisis too. But let me show you what are the other signs of really interested people, right? Avoiding attachment but genuinely likes you. Desire for independence, right? Individuals with avoiding attachment cherish their independence and might fear losing it in a relationship. Their seeming distance isn't about you, but about their comfort with closeness. Internal conflict. They may experience internal conflict between their feelings for you and their instinct to pull away when things get too intimate. This can manifest as mixed signals. Consistent in their ways. Even if they seem distant, their actions have a level of consistency. They might regularly reach out, even if their communication seems guarded or limited. Efforts with boundaries. They make an effort according to their comfort level. This might mean that they do engage and try to connect, but with clear boundaries. They may be more comfortable sharing in non-traditional ways or at or at a slower pace, right? They have their genuine care. Despite their avoiding behavior, they show genuine care and concerns for your well-being, even if it's not conventional sense. They remember details about you and respect your boundaries and needs, right? And it's very easy to conflate the two when somebody's not interested. And this is why in 2 or 3 months, you can pretty much find this out. In 2 or 3 months, you can pretty much find out if somebody really likes you, because even if they're avoidant, they're pulling away is really just about wanting some space, right? And they'll be consistent, and whenever you need them, they're actually gonna be there, right? They'll just love you in their own way. For example, is me. I've gotten better over the years. I've gotten to be more expressive. But for example, if something bad happens to you, I'll have a tough time, like doing the whole "how do you feel?" You know what I'm saying? But the type of person that I am, I'll go visit you, talk, and then I'll leave a gift, for example, without you knowing I left a gift, right? And that's my way of showing that I care, right? I give gifts, and I give it when you're not watching, right? So it's kind of like avoidance are a little difficult, to be honest with you, a little bit challenging, but that's what I'm trying to tell you is that you have to know the person that you're with and pay very close attention to their habits and how they behave. Now, look, it's natural for relationships to get into a routine, right? Because that's what happens when things get slower and slower and things are getting, some people say, the passion's gone away. That's a natural and healthy part, right? Like, what the fuck? We're not on crack all the time. Even crackheads don't feel the crack high all the time, right? After a while, they just feel the crack mid high. It is the same thing with relationships, right? And it turns into a routine, and the love for both of you guys and the connection you guys have, the compatibility and the willingness to make it work is what's going to keep it together. And that test, that thing, trying to make it work is what creates the conflict that makes it nice and spicy, right? Now, you don't have to do this on purpose, right? Like I said, conflicts will arise naturally that will make this happen, right? But periodically, if things are perfect, periodically change it up. Go on vacation, right? Go out there together, or talk about an issue you guys haven't talked about, or gain a new habit where you have to do things by yourself without the person, right? Do things without them. Sometimes get a little alone time for yourself if you guys are always together. Shake it up. Don't assume that who you are is enough, right? Yes, depthness of connection is important, and that's what happens when you guys have a routine. But sometimes breaking it up and breaking the habit of the routine is what makes people think. Maybe all of a sudden you start being a little busy, and now they're like, all of a sudden they don't hang out as much with me for 1 week, right? You're busy. And that 1 week they're wondering, they're putting on a happy face, but deep inside they're like, okay, what's going on? And then you return to normal, right? These are things that you either allow natural things to happen where you guys talk and that creates a break in rapport, which creates a desire for more intimacy after the conflict is resoluted, or you intentionally do it. You break up the pattern, you pull away, or one day you dress a completely different than how you dress. You take him out on a date, or you start pulling away something. Either you get a little closer or you get a little distant. to shake things up. I've worked with a lot of older individuals, older couples, and they all tell me how it just takes a lot of work. you know, like it really takes up work where their husband is always there, and because their husband is always there, they're like, yo, like I need some space from you. And we're not, and sometimes we're just not paying attention to them to sense when they need space. And if you're actually paying attention to people and you really are, and you really like them and you pay attention and you're trying to make them happy, you're going to sense moments when you need to break up the routine, people. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And how do you know when those moments, what those moments are, when they're losing interest, or not losing interest, but when they need their personal space? Because we all have those moments, right? When they're like, okay, this is a little bit too much time with this person. Everyone has those moments. And those moments come, don't take it personal. Don't think that is a personal attack on you. Just like if your kids want space from you, so your partners may want space, you cannot take that personal. You have to understand that's normal and it's healthy. All right. And give them that space. Because a lot of people just take it personal when somebody expresses certain boundaries, and that's toxic. Well, you could sense it, because if you pay attention, and you love them and you are understanding their point of views and not being self-absorbed, you're going to sense their energy shift. Like a sailor who has a sense for the direction, or like a basketball player who has a sense about what to do next, or about a mother sensing what their child needs, right? You can sense the energy shift. And if you're not self-absorbed, and if you're focusing on paying attention, what you'll notice that they need distance. And some people, when they sense that they want distance, their natural response is to feel insecure and suffocate them. And this is why I said, work on your weaknesses, right? If you work on your weaknesses, you'll recognize that you're reacting to their energy shifts with more neediness. And there's nothing wrong with communicating it, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes also, you should also communicate and create space at the same time, right? Give them that space to breathe. Don't let people unconsciously push you away before they get conscious of it, because that's what usually happens in relationships, where they lost interest months ago, but it takes a few months for it to rise to the level of your consciousness. So that's why it's important to learn to develop a relationship, a deep connection with the person, because you can sense these things. You don't have to be evil. Just break up the routine from time to time. All right. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want to work with me one-on-one, go to mindfulattraction.org, and I'll see you guys later. Boom.
All right, guys. So I want you guys to check out my online course called Dark Game. That's right, people. Dark Game. And this course is pretty much, I review to you the secret tactics, the secret techniques to create attraction in almost any woman, right? But not just attraction to the point that makes her want to see you all the time, where she's the one initiating all the contact, right? Now just imagine to be able to keep all of the girls in your life that you lost because of your stupidity. Imagine, and I had stupidity too. Imagine being able to keep them. Imagine being able to have 5, 6 women available to you, wanting to see you. Imagine being able to create intense relationships where they're all doing all the work. People, that kind of stuff does exist, people. Now, I'm not going to promise you that you're going to bang like 40, 50 women. I'm going to promise you that you're going to be able to keep the women you have, that you get with. I can promise you that keeping them will increase with this course. But let me keep showing you something. This course is pretty huge, people. It's a huge course. This course has over 50 videos, right? And some of them you could get for free. If you just sign up, you get free videos, right? But in these videos, let me show you guys the course, right?
All right, guys.
Shit. That's me right there, right? In this video, I pretty much teach you guys how to find your purpose. Right? All this is how to find your purpose, discovering your purpose, right? I teach you guys then about female psychology, all of the principles about female psychology you guys need to understand. I then teach you guys the mindset, the proper mindset that you guys need to deal with women. After that, I teach you guys 21 videos on how to game. I mean, it's pretty much unbelievable, man. I gotta make this available, right? But it's unbelievable how many, I pretty much put everything, outer game, social circuit game, strategies, threesomes, foursomes, everything, right? And on top of that, I give you guys a few bonuses: how to overcome approach anxiety, why you can't take actions, a Dickens pattern to change your mentality, how to go from open to transitions, right? 81-minute long, people. This is like, I don't know how long this is, but this is hours, and I mean hours worth of content. And you get a 30-day money back guarantee. I mean, you without questions asked, all for $99, people. People, this could be around a few thousands, to be honest with you, right? But you guys get it for $99, right? All you gotta do is just go over here, purchase the course, and you'll get access to it. And if you don't like it, you could just message me and get your money back, people. Look, man, don't be hard-headed, people. Don't be hard-headed. This is the course that you guys need, right? It gives you guys everything. I cover everything. I could promise you, man, you're not gonna get a more in-depth course on how to attract women and keep them more than this. All right. Anyways, people, check it out. 30-day money back guarantee. There is no risk, and you can get the free course. You can get the free trial. The free trial are these videos that you get for free, right? You guys could just sign up. You could watch all of these videos for free, right? And you don't have to pay. All right. Anyways, I'll see you guys inside. I want to see you guys inside because, again, people, you can't lose nothing. There's a 30-day money back.